What's going on, guys? Your boy, Coach Anthony, and of course, none other than world-class professional fighter, Fast Eddie Chambers. And today's video is for the trainers, okay? The biggest mistakes I see trainers make on the pads. Now, this is a very important video for a couple of reasons. First of all, I'm coming out with a mitt work course. Not out yet, but it will be out, so I need you guys to be on the lookout for this. Another reason is, you guys may not know this, but I'm really close with some of the best fighters and the best trainers in the world. And we have like this private chat that we talk on Instagram. And we just watch all these trainers doing all these ridiculous things. And it's amazing to us because the people don't know what they're looking at. So the people will see these things and be like, wow, that guy's a really good trainer. Do you see what he's doing? And we're just sitting back. I'm seeing guys with guys like Eddie who got almost 50 professional fights and other professional fighters who fought at world-class levels and trainers who've trained world champions. And we're just sitting back watching these guys like, it's such a shame that the people don't know what they're looking at. The people think that what they're looking at is actually good. All right, so now we could go into the techniques and all that stuff. That's a whole nother video. If I really wasn't a nice guy, okay, because I'm a nice guy, all right? Eddie's a nice guy. If I wasn't a nice guy, I can literally get a list of everybody who I know doesn't know what the hell they're doing, who people think knows what they're doing, and really embarrass some people, but I'm not going to do that. I'm only going to focus on my channel. I'm only going to focus on what we do, right? But I am going to give you guys some pointers, some things to look out for, some things that you guys can notice, okay? Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is the mitt work, right? So, well, that's what this whole video is about, is the mitt work. But, the long combinations. Right? 1, 2, roll, scissor, roll, woo, double hook, roll, shoulder, roll, drop, turn, roll, double roll, 3, 2, roll, 1, 2, roll. Right, like we all know, listen, I'm known for doing the long combinations and all the different cool combinations because I believe that it's fun to do. All right, a lot of people ask me, what is the benefits of those long combinations you do, Coach Anthony? The benefits is that it's fun. The benefit is that it gets my athlete to throw punches and react, and it's kind of like the speed bag, right? Like you're hitting the speed bag, you're standing in one spot, you're hitting the mids, and you're kind of doing these cool moves or whatever. That probably isn't going to be too applicable in an actual fight, but they're fun to do, all right? So if you understand that you're doing things because they're fun, that's one thing. But if you're doing these things thinking that you're actually getting your guy prepared for a fight, you're going to get him severely hurt, okay? That's the other thing. So we have to make sure that we know what the differences is and the other things. But anyway, let's just say we're not talking about the long combinations, all right? Because the long combinations are fun to do, man. I can't lie. I love them. You know what I mean? But I don't do them the whole training session. I'm doing for like a little bit, and then we're done. We post it on Instagram. We move on. But right now, the first thing, this is going to be something. Now, give me a 1, 2. Okay, now, Eddie naturally he's such a freaking slick fighter, man. See, you don't even realize what he just did right there, right? Because he's a real fighter. It's hard to get him to do things the wrong way, right? But the main things that you'll notice is guys will do a cool move and then be right back in the same spot. That's a big red flag right there. So if I got Eddie right here, roll out, and he's still in the same spot, okay, we've already starting off on the bad foot. Now, what Eddie did, what I liked in that situation, which is something that's slick, that when he threw that right hand, you notice he didn't come right back up. He kind of stood low. Okay, that shows me that he was still being somewhat defensively responsible, which is a whole nother topic. But the main thing is that you'll notice that guys will do the mitt work, and they really won't make their guys move anywhere, okay? Or another mistake that I notice is they'll have these guys throw these combinations without setting them up. So you always want to make sure, like if I got Eddie throwing a 1, 2, after he throws that 1, 2, he's really going to circle to a whole new spot. Bah, bah. Okay, now he's moving to a new spot. And the reason why we're doing that is because in a fight, you're not going to throw the 1, 2 unless you hurt the guy and stay in that spot. If I throw that 1, 2 and I don't hurt you, I got to get to a new spot because I'm expecting punches to come back. You see what I'm saying? So I can't just sit there and whop, whop, and I'm still right there. No. Whop, whop. If I hurt you, then maybe I'll come back with something else. But if not, I got to get to a new spot, okay? Another thing I notice that a lot of trainers don't do is not enough focus on the jab. Okay, so let's give it to the southpaws, man. Go southpaw for me, Eddie. Look, Eddie could box both sides, man. I know some of you southpaws are like, man, when are you going to do a southpaw version? So, Eddie, just work that jab from a southpaw position. bang, okay? Double and triple it, stepping around me, okay? Now notice what Eddie's doing though. He's working his jab, getting to a new spot. He's working the jab to get to a new spot. All right, so if he is here and he's doubling and he's tripling, I'm gonna snap it out quick. Wop, 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 okay? He's in a new spot, okay? He's no longer standing in front of me, okay? In boxing, you don't wanna be in the same spot for too long. That is one of the biggest pet peeves I have with the new modern day mitt work that's going on, because what's happening is, and I don't want to be this guy, but what's happening is people are learning how to hold mitts that never actually competed before. And then what's happening is the unrealistic stuff is getting done because they're simply copying somebody else that they watched without the proper understanding of getting to a new spot. Without the proper understanding that, damn, if I get my guy to continuously do these things every single day, it's going to become a habit. And then come fight night, he's actually going to fight that way, okay? I'll give you a secret. When I worked with Raymond Ford, who's one of the fighters that I work with, one of the main things I did with him was simply work on the jab. And we've had a fantastic turnaround from one fight to another just by focusing on one punch. Now, of course, we work the jab laterally. We work the jab going forward, going back. We've also added our defense and our footwork and our counter punching off of the jab. But the jab was the main focus because I knew he had a fantastic jab and I needed him to use it. Now, I don't see guys getting past this jab, okay? And I'm not saying I taught him the jab because the kid's been boxing since he was 8. But we focused on the jab, and now it's something that is being repeatedly focused on regularly, all right? And you see these other guys throwing 1, 2, body shot, pivot, come back with the uppercut hook, pivot again, throw the right hand rogue. Come on, man. When the hell do you see that in a fight, right? Now, if you want to get down and do some mitt work, we could do some mitt work. Me and Eddie will get down. We'll razzle and dazzle all day long. But believe me, we know why we're doing it. We're doing it either for fun, we're doing it for video, we're doing it for maybe some extra cardio, right? But when we are focusing on training, we are focusing on the fundamentals. And you only have so much time in the gym. So why are you wasting time doing stuff that's unrealistic and unproductive? Another thing that you need to remember when you're focusing on mitts with a fighter is you focus on the mistakes that need to be improved, okay? And a lot of the times the workouts get created based off what I saw the day previous in sparring. So like for instance, if Eddie is, let's just say Eddie is orthodox, and let's just say he keeps throwing a jab and he's getting cracked over the top with a right hand right after his jab. Well, guess what? I'm going to focus on the next day on the mitts with Eddie. Bam! I'm bringing that, I'm making sure that hand, snap that thing. Wow. I'm making sure that hand's coming back to where it needs to be. That was designed by the previous day. Hey, Eddie, you were getting caught with that right hand yesterday, so let's work on fixing that real quick. See what I'm saying? So this is when you start to become a real teacher. This is when you start to really understand what your fighter needs to be working on, what needs to be fixed. You have to have the eye, you have to have the knowledge, you have to have the understanding so you can go ahead and focus on the next day. You don't just come into the gym with these made up combinations and say, hey, we're gonna work on all of this inapplicable stuff in real situations. Boxing is a serious sport and somebody could really get hurt. Now, don't get me wrong, some of that stuff is fun to do, and I'm not gonna tell you if you're doing this for fitness to stop having fun, but I'm just talking to the trainers who's working with the fighters. Guys, if you wanna learn more about boxing, you already know where to go. CoachAnthonyBoxing.com, and make sure you subscribe for more videos like this one. Boxing Life.